As an artist, I enjoy variety in my work. Over the years, I have painted commissions, original paintings, bookmarks, keyrings. I have painted in oil, acrylic, and watercolor. And with my videos, I have made tutorials, vlogs, and done painting challenges. I think being able to be creative and have a variety in your work is a good thing as an artist. I've mentioned before that I don't have the greatest attention span, and it suits me being able to paint a variety of different subjects in different mediums. But there is one thing I find myself coming back to time and time again, and that is always nature. I think there's lots of reasons that nature keeps drawing me back in, but one of the big ones is that this is something that I am passionate about outside of my art. Obviously, nature is a huge part of what I choose to paint, but if I never painted another piece, I would still be passionate about nature. Come rain or shine, it is where I want to spend the majority of my time. As an artist, you can have lots of different motivations. It might be that you're just starting out and your motivation is you want to get better. So you don't really mind what subject you paint, you just want to try and improve each time. You could be starting out a business, and so your motivation is financial. And that's not a bad thing if it means that you're able to continue doing this as a career and it allows you to do what you want to do. But it might mean that the reason you are choosing to paint certain subjects is because you think it will do well with the people who already like your work. Your motivation could be you want to challenge yourself and push yourself out of your comfort zone. You want to try something that you think will be difficult just to see if you could do it. Or your motivation could be that you want to make a personalized gift for somebody and you're trying to think of something that you think that they would like. And then there's the motivation that comes from a passion that you would have regardless of being an artist or not. And for me, that is where nature comes in. And I really think that makes all the difference. And it is a reason you will find yourself revisiting the same subjects time and time again.
The reason I keep coming back to this and why I think it makes such a great source of motivation is because it isn't necessarily as dependent on any external factors or validation. I try not to be too influenced by external thoughts or opinions or pressures when it comes to my painting. I like to paint things that I'm interested in painting, regardless of whether that's the most popular subject or not. But sometimes that can be challenging, and it's occasionally, well, a lot of the time it's easier to say that than it is to actually live it. It can be especially challenging if you're a bit more financially dependent on making money from your artwork. You might find yourself ditching an idea if it doesn't receive the most enthusiastic response. And that's easier to do if you weren't overly attached to the idea in the first place. But that's not the case with nature.
Temporarily distracted by this lovely snail.
The fact is, I would be out here either way. Whether I was painting nature or not, whether those paintings were popular or not, I would still be here doing this. I would still be spending time outside, looking for wildlife, getting excited about new discoveries, and just enjoying being in the outdoors. In the outdoors? Can you be in the outdoors? Just enjoying being outdoors. This is one of my favourite summertime flowers, the harebell. There's some grass in my way here. It's just so delicate and beautiful. Nature can provide some calm in what can sometimes seem like a very chaotic world. Spending time in nature can be something that you do when you're happy, when you are making memories, seeing something wonderful, and sharing that experience with people that you're close to. It can be a place of contemplation when it's just you and nature, and you are sitting experiencing it with all of the sights and the sounds, making the most of everything that's going on around you and taking it all in. And it can be a place where you can seek solace. If you're having a hard time, it might not always have all of the answers. In fact, it might not have any answers at all. But it can provide a bit of a break and some respite where you can just experience being in the moment. Nature can be tranquil. It can be beautiful. And it is often full of surprises. Oh, look at that! Hummingbird hawk moth. Oh, wow! Look at that! I have loved nature ever since I was little, from watching nature programs with my dad when I was really tiny to memorizing all of the butterflies in my nan and granddad's butterfly book. Loving nature has stayed with me throughout my life. It has affected what I do for fun, the jobs that I do, and it has obviously also had an impact on my art. And I guess that's a really simple answer for why I keep coming back to nature. It's because it's always been there and it's always going to be a big part of my life. So obviously, I'm going to keep coming back to it in my artwork too.
I think as artists, we like to explore different things and different subjects, and I enjoy painting portraits and still life and a variety of other work. But sometimes it's nice to have that underlying theme that you keep coming back to, and for me, nature is that theme. My first idea for videos on YouTube when I was starting out my first art channel was to do something kind of along a similar line to this, where I would go out in nature and look for some inspiration and then paint and record a time lapse of it. And I did a couple of videos like that. I painted some snowdrops and a snail, and I was in the process of making a video about a snowy landscape when embarrassment got the better of me because I was new to YouTube and it was a bit awkward watching the videos back. So they didn't last for very long. And it wasn't down to the fact that I wasn't interested in nature or I didn't think the idea was a good one. It was pure embarrassment that stopped that from going much further. But the idea was there, and that love for nature hasn't gone away. And a couple of years ago, I started Artist Diaries. So, this idea of recording and then painting things I found in nature came back. And that has gone on to become an artist in nature, where we are right now. And it's kind of followed me through the majority of my art career so far. I think it's nice to have that underlying idea that you can keep coming back to. And for me, I'm really glad that that underlying theme is nature. Nature makes such a great subject because it's so big. There's just so many different things that you could paint within the category of nature that I feel like you would really struggle and be hard pressed to run out of ideas. Even if you painted hundreds of things every day, there would still be more to discover and to paint. And that variety is what makes it special too, because if you like to challenge yourself and paint different things, then there's so many ideas that kind of fit within that category of nature. I know in the last few videos I have been painting lots of animals, which is a side effect of having a camera that I want to test out and wanting to make the most of being able to see things slightly closer up than normal. But you don't just have to paint animals, although that in itself is really varied. You could paint mammals and birds and reptiles and insects, painting butterflies and bees and all kinds of different stuff. You could paint wildflowers. You could focus in on specific areas of nature, like painting autumn leaves or mushrooms or a spider's web and getting really close up. Or you could look at the landscape as a whole and paint woodland or an open field, a stream, a river, a shoreline. You could paint a cloudscape. You could focus on lighting and paint sunrises and sunsets. There's so many different things that you could paint as part of nature that I feel like there's something for everyone in there, and that is enough for me to keep things interesting, to keep me coming back to this subject time and time again. Painting nature can be challenging. It already looks so lovely that trying to actually put that down on canvas isn't always the easiest thing to do. Can't help but compare it to the real thing, which is so lovely already that the expectation for the painting is pretty high. But that challenge can be one of the reasons that keeps bringing you back to the subject too. I can't imagine myself reaching a stage with painting nature where I feel like I've got this now and I know what I'm doing. I feel like there's always going to be a way that I can improve, and that's another reason that keeps bringing me back to the subject. And another reason I keep being drawn back into painting this kind of thing is it's a way for me to relive that moment where I saw something really nice in nature, spending some time with this deer in early evening, watching as the sun was very slowly beginning to set and the deer was getting a bit more confident and coming further out was just a really lovely experience. And when I do a painting of it, it helps me to relive that moment a little bit. What is it about this thing called nature? What is this hold you have over me? So quiet, and subtle and steady. An abundance of wonder to see, existing outside of everyday chaos, oblivious to observers like me. I share in your world for a moment, wondering what this connection might be. There's a calming sense of comfort that comes from time spent with you, inspiration and awe and splendor, each encounter surprising and new. Whatever I may be feeling, and whatever the weather may be, all I must do is look for you, and out there you'll be waiting for me.